Welcome back, Shalloners. Well, you guys voted, and today we're going to talk about what to do if you're dating or crushing on the dude that everyone wants. And why are we talking about this? Well, John Legend has been named by People magazine as the sexiest man alive. So that's what some people decided and how they feel. Okay, you know what? I don't know how many of us, at least how many of us here on this channel with the audience that we have here in the Shallontrage really want to bone John Legend. I love him, and I especially love him with CHRISSY Teigen. Well, mostly because I love CHRISSY Teigen. And I've actually done a video on how he's a wonderful example of an alpha male and she's an alpha female, and they're dynamic together. And it was one of the few positive videos that I've done. Be you go, both of you. But now that he's been named Sexiest Man Alive, I feel like we need to talk about what it means if you're kind of dating the microcosm of this version of the sexiest man alive in your college, in your office, in your social group, wherever. We'll talk about it. But first, just want to remind you guys that if you have a one-on-one question for me, my website is shallonlester.com and click Get Help to get connected. Also, shop my merch. I'm loving promoting my merch this week because I get to just hang out in hoodies, and I am living. Do I have a bra on or not? Nobody knows. So this is one of my favorite hoodies. I say that about all of them though, but this one I do love. It says, "May the bridges I burn light the way, Shallon XO." I love this phrase. It's sort of my personal mantra because I love revenge and I love moving on and I love lights and fire. Anyway, head there to shop the collection of crop tops, vision boards, phone cases, hoodies, crew necks, lots of good stuff, and we're going to be working on a new collection, hopefully out in February. Also, follow me on Instagram, where, like I said, I let you guys vote and weigh in on the next video topic and give me suggestions. My username is Shallon XO, and click follow. And be sure to listen to my podcast, Girl on Top, out every Wednesday, every place podcasts are found. So yes, John Legend, sexiest man alive. One of you guys said it right. At least it wasn't Blake Shelton again. I understand People magazine's readership is the olds, 50-year-old ladies named Karen who shop at Kohl's. I like Kohl's. I like Kohl's a lot, but you know what I mean. May I see the manager? Those kind of ladies, the Kate Gosselin hairdo, those kind of ladies. So if we at the Shallontrage were voting on the sexiest man alive, you guys were coming up with Shawn Mendes, Daddy Mendes right here, Shawn Mendes, Jason Momoa, the beast and the legend. I love him. And I want to know your other votes for sexiest man alive. I still think George Strait should be sexiest man alive. He's probably 80 years old, but he's a man. He's a classic man. He can rope and ride and two-step and sing and kill dinner and cook it for you. And you're he's the best. He's the best. Idris Elba. And that's who John followed. I think he was the sexiest man alive last year. That is a tough act to follow, John. But CHRISSY was kind of roasting her own husband on Twitter, as she does. That's sort of her shtick. And she's I can't wait to see how many people are furious about this. She's this is my own Starbucks holiday cup. I'm this is, I love her. She's so funny and she has great tits. And honestly, that's pretty much all I need out of someone who's in my life or on my internet. I'm a simple woman. So even though we may not want to bone John Legend, we do know what it's like to want to bone the popular guy wherever you are. Maybe you've met a celebrity and he's up in your DMs. You're oh my gosh. Maybe you're dating the frat captain or what? Not frat captain. Why do I say that? Frat president. I'm thinking lacrosse captain, hockey captain. I'm also very curious, what are the cool sports at your school? Because for me, where I grew up, we had a surf team and a skate team, and they were just drowning in pussy all the time. I would still go back in a time machine and hook up with even the ugliest one. They were so attractive. But then it was it was never really football. It was never the football dudes. I have to caffeinate up. Ugh, I have events and stuff. Anyway, so if you haven't been in this position yet, you're probably gonna be. Women are we like the popular dude. Everyone likes the popular person. And I've said this before in videos, I have a whole playlist on popularity that so much of the time when we fall for the popular guy or the celeb, it's because we consciously or not see them as some sort of emotional getaway car. And I talk about emotional getaway cars a lot because they come in a lot of different forms. In the most extreme form, it's like drugs and alcohol, right? That is something to get me out of my mind that I can't sit with. Get me the hell out of here. I don't care if now I'm a meth addict and I think bugs are under my skin. Doesn't matter. But we do that with guys too. And when we do that, you know what we create? We create a hurt locker. Now, if you're new to this channel, you've never heard me talk about hurt lockers. A hurt locker is the name I give to a person in which we store our hurts, you know? And we imprint on someone who we see as some sort of an emotional escape during a time in our life where we feel deficient. One of my classic hurt lockers was a celebrity. He was a professional athlete. And I imprinted on him. We dated, and it was like, this relationship lives in like infamy in my mind. Probably not in his. I just have to believe maybe so. But like, because at the time, like, he was taking off. It was like his second year. He just made captain, all this stuff. And I was not where I wanted to be in my career. And so being with him gave me specialness, like splash zone specialness, like specialness by osmosis. And that was really, really hard for me to let go of when it was like, okay, well, I'm not moving to Pennsylvania. You're not like moving here. Like, we're not fucking doing this, you know? And it just kind of like ran its course. And it was really, really hard for me to get over because it wasn't him that I missed. On paper, like, he was great, but it was the specialness that I missed. But also, we talk about hurt lockers. When we fixate on someone who's the popular guy, the celebrity, it's not that we love them, it's that we want to be them. Oh, the realizations that are happening in tiny little minds all over the Shallontrage right now, right? And I remember reading some article about like this chick who was in that show, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I never watched it. I was like, I've lived it and I deal with it. I don't need to hear about it. But she's the one who brought that up. She's like, I remember being obsessed with this guy. He was like in the jazz band in middle school. And it was because I wanted to be him. I admired him and I didn't know how to translate that. So it just came out as obsessive love. And I was like, oh my God. It was such an awakening for me. Imagine what I'd learn if I watched the show. Who knows? So I realized I admired my Hurt Locker ex because he was everything that I wanted to be. He was doing so well. But he was so humble and he was so cool about it. And he was so grateful and authentic and he was so present. He wasn't like, well, who's posting about me? And am I on this red carpet? And blah, blah, blah. And I had a TV show at the same time, and which you would think would make me feel like I was on par, but I wasn't. I had a measure of success, but my attitude towards it was completely different. And the way I moved around that space was completely different. I was a douchebag, basically. And he was a great person. And so I admire that. Like, I am more prone to skewing to the douche side of things. It just, you guys are like, no shit. Self-awareness, not my strong suit. So when I was able to step back and look at that, it really helped me get over it. But I feel like I'm doing this video out of order, right? I feel like I should have ended with like the cautionary tale about the popular guy and like the reason why you're fixating on him. But I believe that we need to be aware of our weak spots and aware of why we're drawn to certain things and certain behaviors and certain people so that we can anticipate it when it comes along. Now that I am like aware of my Hurt Locker triggers, because my second Hurt Locker, another athlete, he was a college athlete, was the same way as the first one. Humble, hardworking, sweet, polite, very like creative, which nobody kind of gave him credit for. And I was like, oh, I'm obsessed with you. I have a crush on another similar such person. Ugh. And I'm just like such a creature of habit. So now when I see that come along, I can be like, okay, now I see why I'm obsessed with you. And it kind of like takes the power out of it. You know, so it's like, all right, if I'm not hearing from this person or if I'm hearing from him a lot and I'm like, I'm in love with you, like I can kind of dial it down and be like, no, this is tapping into more about me than it is about him. But let's say you're in a relationship or you're crushing on like the popular dude, right? Let's say you're in a relationship with the dude that maybe he has girls coming at him all the time because of like his profession, maybe just because of his face and he's just hot. Like, you guys know Max and I broke up recently. I don't know. I know you guys like want a video on it, and maybe I'll get there, but it's just, you know, sometimes it's, I don't know. Anyway, but like, he's a hottie. And I know that because you guys fucking slide into his DMs and try to bone him, which I don't appreciate. That's really weird. Whatever. Not a lot of you guys. Not a lot. But enough that I thought about amassing my own sort of like tiny private army for revenge. Do I seem like the kind of person you want to pick a fight with? I'm not. But that's not what most of you guys do. You guys are wonderful. But that's the point. I always had girls like hitting on him. And like I said, I'm not the person you want to pick a fight with. I'm an only child. I don't share. I'm prone to being like just this shrieking bird of prey, harpy person. But I don't do that because it doesn't work. You know what works when you're dating the popular guy? This kind of attitude. The Rihanna attitude. You do whatever you want. Like wearing those little glasses and they're just like perched at the edge of your nose and you're just peering out and you're like, do whatever, baby. Whatever makes you happy. I don't fight for anything. I certainly don't fight for men. I mean, I fight for my money, my success, stuff like that. I don't fight for like friends. I don't fight for people to like me. I don't do that shit. If you don't see my value and if you don't respect the borders of our relationship, bye. Like I'm not gonna be policing the boundaries of this relationship because you can't or won't do it yourself, you know? So my attitude and the reason I have dated if there aren't celebrities or athletes, they've always just been really hot. Like I date hot dudes, except for that one from that band. Was not hot. No, but the wonderful, he's famous. So, you know, if you're not hot, you can be, you have to be famous. Because here's a few reasons. Number one, I always approach them as equals. No part of me ever thinks that any man on planet Earth is out of my league. They're not. They're just not. And when I hear you guys, you know, when you guys message me or something and it's like, oh my God, he's so hot, he's so out of my league. I'm like, let's back the fuck up right there. That is not true. And if you tell yourself that, you're going to go into this date, this flirting situation, this Tinder message with this attitude of, please like me. And a douchebag, which a lot of hot guys are because they're allowed to be, life allows them to be terrible because they're like, they're so hot. They're going to see that and be like, aha, manipulatable. Or at the very best case scenario, they're just gonna be like, like that's just kind of unattractive. I am never the tallest, thinnest, richest, prettiest girl in the room, but I am the baddest. And I've said this before because I keep a running inventory of who I am, all my gifts, all my traits, the good and the bad. I know what I am. So that like when I see that super hot guy at a fashion week party, I'm not like, oh no, but I don't have the abs that this other girl does. No, I have 2 books. I have a thriving YouTube channel. I have amazing friends who love me. I have altruism. I volunteer. I give back. Welcome to daddy, honey. Come on. So I don't go into it with any sort of attitude of lack, of shrinkage, of not good enough. I go into it with an attitude of, you are lucky I'm talking to you right now. And hot dudes like that. Most people like that. I mean, healthy people, you know, like betas and manipulative, like abusive people. No, they don't. They absolutely don't. But they're just going to keep it moving. I'm like, great, bye. But a hot dude is not used to that attitude, right? They're used to the fawning girls. Oh my God, do you want me to suck your dick? Nice dry hand job, whatever. I come in with the opposite vibe and they're like, I know this one girl. She's a friend of a friend. She's literally Sarah plain and tall. She is so just plain in that kind of like French girl way, you know. It's like, are you pretty or are you just like tall and thin? I don't know, but she has this attitude, this very French attitude of like, you are welcome that I am here. And you know who she's dated? Leonardo DiCaprio. He like chased her around a club in Paris until he like got her because she just has this attitude of like, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you know who I am? And like I've said before, confidence is quiet. You shouldn't actually be saying these things to guys. You shouldn't be saying these. Like Rihanna doesn't need to say that. Yes, because she's Rihanna and people know who she is. But I don't imagine her being like, I'm a bad bitch. I'm a this, I'm a that. It's not in your Instagram bio. It's not in your caption. It is in your very soul. It is oozing out of your pores. And like I said, it's quiet though. It's the shoulders are back where other girls are like hunched over. That chin is just like a half an inch higher than everyone else's. You're surveying things. You are on some like Lion King shit right now, looking over the savannah. All the light touches is mine. All the boys the fluorescent lights touch belong to me. You move slowly and deliberately. I'll never forget this. And this was like a big tip that I used to give in dating. It's like, if you want to flirt and get a guy's attention, like from across a bar or a party, slow down your movements, okay? Like there's a big difference between like, and like, big difference, right? One conveys panic, the other one conveys confidence. And this worked on John Mayer. He saw me do that, came right on over and hit on me at a Christmas party. So like it works. But again, it's quiet and it's slow, and that's confidence. So what about if you're like past this? You know, you kind of got the guy, you're dating, he's into you, the hunt is on, maybe you're in a relationship, but there's still girls, there's still interlopers. You have to evaluate if this dude is using these girls to like get your goat. Like you have to ask yourself, why do you even know that other girls are hitting on him? If you're seeing it, okay, that's one thing. But like I had no idea people were sliding into Max's DMs until like I kind of like beat it out of him, until I posted one of these bitches on my fucking Instagram. I was like, here's your name. Here's the message you sent. Like I will body you on Instagram if you do this shit to people. Like don't do it. And he's like, she's like one of many. And I'm like, what? I'm like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, why would I tell you? It would just make you mad. I'm not doing anything. Like, you know, he's like, why would I bring that up? He's like, I wouldn't want to hear that. He's like, I know guys hit on you all the time. Like, I don't want to hear it. I was like, you're right. They hit on me all the time. As long as you have no follow-up questions about where or when that takes place, you are right. So if he's bringing this to your attention, he might just be kind of a douche who's trying to get your goat. I don't appreciate that. I want my partner to be my soft place to fall. I don't want to be in this like push-pull power dynamic that's all based around his ego. But if he's not doing that and you're just observing this, again, you take this standoffish approach. I tell you guys this a lot, like in our personal messages. Sometimes a man needs a big dose of what it is he thinks he wants. Oh, you want to go flirt with that girl? Have fun. I'll be at home. No, I won't be at home. I'll be someplace else. And maybe you'll know where it is, and maybe you won't. Maybe I won't tell you. But you have to take this attitude of you are bulletproof. You are the baddest bitch. No one is coming for him. And if they do, goodbye. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to make a PowerPoint presentation about why you should love me. I'm not going to list the pros and cons. I don't beg. I don't have a beggar's mentality in any category of my life. And that's why I'm successful. And success is not, it's not about money. It's just like, that's why I have quality people in my life. That's why I have healthy relationships. That's why I live in a cool city and I was able to like do things here. But a beggar's mentality, to get out of that, it really is step by step. Large shifts are comprised of small shifts, you know, small day-to-day decisions. So when you feel panicky, like, oh my gosh, the popular guy, like, I have to make him like me. Beggar mentality? No. Hey, Chad. No, I don't want to go upstairs. I'm free Saturday night if you want to take me to dinner, though. Woo! Call some bluffs. Put it out there. Let your standards be known. Because if he's a quality guy, if he's popular for the right reasons, like John Legend is, he's going to be like, all right, I found my CHRISSY Teigen. I found my Michelle Obama. I like what I'm seeing here. If he's a douchebag who's popular for the wrong reasons, he's going to be like, bitch, frigid bitch, and he's going to keep it moving. And you got to know that, though. Wouldn't you rather know that that's who he is rather than get 2 dry hand jobs down the road and be like, fuck, like he was always just a douche. Now I've humiliated myself and I feel bad about myself and I have nothing to show for it. And even if you do have something to show for it, the price tag on any man should not read your dignity. So I want to know your thoughts on dating the popular dude. What problems have you run into? What do you think about John Legend being the sexiest man alive? Who else do you think people named? I feel like they're off. I feel like it's going to be people like, oh Lord, I don't know. One of you guys said Henry Golding should have been it. truth. He's so cute. He's so cute. But I want to know who your picks are for the Sexiest Man Alive. And like I said, head to my website to shop my merch and ask me a question. Also follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO and listen to my podcast, Girl on Top, out every Wednesday.